I'm sure you're probably all aware how prices are going up in storage prices, subscriptions there for TV shows, streaming, whatever. It's getting to crazy, I guess, price wise. It doesn't matter what the reasons are. I don't think most people can do much about it. However, there are things that you could do to eliminate the need to have these services, because really, I'm sure in most cases, they're not that important or that essential, or you have other options. I know many years ago, this is when the Macs even first started, I had external hard drives backing up, and then someone says, well, what happens if your place burns down? You lose it. Generally speaking, the only thing of value, I guess, is your documents and some videos or pictures, things of that sort. Again, if your documents are that important, put it in a safe, lockbox, or another location. Some people have these lockboxes in the banks and so forth. So anything that important, that's an option. And it'll probably be way cheaper than paying for cloud storage. However, pictures can be a little bit different. There could be too many. And I know when I first started videos, or actually pictures, I was not into videos at the time. And I would take maybe 3 or 4 shots of the same scene, maybe playing around with different settings. And the concept is, when I come back to edit, I pick the best one, delete the rest. And as a rule, that would happen, but over time, when you have so much storage, you say, I'll do it another time. And you end up having a photo library that's really probably only you need half of it. So cleaning up duplicates might be a good solution. And of course, Time Capsule by Apple came along, and I had 3 or 4 of those. They're great, and was done wirelessly, remotely at times. But they were slow. And of course, then you started using solid-state drives. In fact, like the cases that I have, the 2 terabyte, but they do work great for backups. In fact, that's what I use. And when I was updating this computer to iOS 26, I'm just trying to remember if it was the last update on the previous version or when I was doing it. It actually warned me that my time capsule will no longer be supported, or will not be supported in the near future, or something of that sort. Okay? So that means I shouldn't depend on time capsule. Fortunately, in my scenario, I realize that updates are often designed to force people to upgrade all the time and buy new software and so forth. To illustrate, I use Carbon Copy Clone. In fact, I think I used it when it was free at the beginning, and then there was a fee for it later on. I have an old Tower, 2012, I believe, Tower MacBook. And because I kept all the licenses of all the Carbon Copy, going back to, I think, to Carbon Copy 1 or 2 or something like that, I was able to install Carbon Copy on Ventura and enter the appropriate serial number that I purchased, and it works. Not a problem. I can back up everything there to a remote drive, whatever. And then I have a MacBook Pro 16. This case, because of the hack there, I did install iOS, I think, 15. So I can still use my latest Carbon Copy clone. But down the road, if I have to pay for 26 or 27, I hang on to these serial numbers, so I can use it on the old computers. So it eliminates the need for me to have to update and buy all the time software. There was, like my previous video, there was a utility that I almost every year I had to pay $20. I got tired of that. And it was something I could do myself, create a script. So I dumped them and unsubscribed. That's it. You know, there's a point where greed becomes too obvious. At least that's the way I look at it. And I know Apple has been pushing developers to create subscriptions, you know, just to make more money. They make more money, so does the developer. It's a two-way street. So, with Time Capsule one day being gone, fortunately, Carbon Copy, it doesn't matter what version I had up to this point, even iOS 26, no problems. And that is what I use. I'll show you. It's you know, there's only a handful of utilities that I had from day one, going back 10, 15 years, right? When the Macs first started. I even had the Apple IIc and all the other ones there in my youth. Okay, Carbon Copy Cloner. I use this currently right now with my Acasis drives, the 2 terabyte. My hard drive, I can back up any portions of my hard drive. And I could eliminate sections of it because I can go into a taskmaster and select what I don't want or do want. In this case, I have one solid copy, just in case I have to reinstall my whole operating system because of a failure or something. Okay, and I'm going to revert changes, and okay, this is also the same. One is elderly, and what's this one here? Revert changes. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, here I'm more specific. Things that I really need often, important, I would do specific. Plus, I use this drive to open those apps because I got a fast Acasis drive with Samsung Pro, 2 terabyte. I don't keep those applications on my hard drive. In fact, this is copied from another Acasis. So this way, I don't have to buy a 2 terabyte hard drive. I can still go with 1 terabyte, despite the fact that if I put everything on there, I would need a 2 terabyte drive. So another way I eliminate the need to be forced to keep buying harder, or I should say larger and larger hard drives. Thought I'd give you that tip. So OneDrive, every time I select it, it thinks I'm making a change, I guess. I back everything. And then this one here, I back everything back from the other drive. So this way, in the next one, I can choose the ones I want, and also have access to it, and giving me the space on my hard drive. And on top of that, I still run my time capsule. Where is it? There you go, wrong one. I have 3 of them. I don't usually need anything to keep for like 10 years or 20 years. No, whatever is on my drive is all I want to keep. And so every once in a while, I would do a clean start. So usually 1 year, 2 years is all I need. It also eliminates the need of getting a larger drive because you keep archiving too far back. So that's what I'm doing. And the price is reasonable. So I thought I'd share you that. Eliminate the need of a cloud. I used to have a 2 terabyte cloud. I eliminated that to 1, I think, and then that disappeared. and I'm down to, I think, 200 gigabyte, which is perfect for the whole family and friends. I don't use the iCloud other than a few apps like calendar, contacts, things that you change often. Maybe even Safari, the web browser, so that it'll match your phone or whatever. But any data, like no photos, no, I don't back up iCloud photos. The only thing that I have that might go to iCloud is shared folders, and that's it. And that's true with any documents. I do not. Anything that's non-essential, like pages, documents, or, iWorks, whatever. Any personal documents. Nope, it doesn't go to the cloud. I have my own system, and also it does save on remote. I know when you're in business, you have accounting, bookkeeping that you have to keep for 7 years, and when it hits 10 years, I eliminate it. And so this way, there's no need for me to keep for 10 years when law only requires 7 years. So that's some of the ideas. I hope this gives you something to look into. Save yourself some money. And I know even with streaming, we will stream for 1 month, discontinue. Wait another 6 months or maybe a year, or switch to another one. Because there's only a handful of shows that we may watch. And then the rest of the time, it's just there. You're paying subscriptions and you're hardly not using it, or you're watching stuff you normally wouldn't watch because that's all there is there. So, yeah, we'll do it for 1 month, then dump it. Sometimes we'll go to another one, try it for 1 month, dump it. And, of course, depending on the season of the year, like summertime, zilch, nothing. That's the only way you can fight back with all the continual increase. Not depend on it. Find your own solutions. So when it comes to backing up your stuff and not being forced to keep replacing your hard drive on your computer from, 256, 500, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabytes, just use some fast solid-state drives like the cases. Well, I have video on it to show it. When the 2 terabyte fills up, I still need it, I just pull it out, plug in another one. I only pay for the SSD unit itself, the chip. That's it. Won't hold this for long. I thought I'd just share that information because I've been asked by different people. I used to do a lot of Mac repairs at one time. In fact, it was a livelihood at one time for me as a contractor. I used to do the networking for a lot of people in small businesses. I used to have a network in my home with my kids with 7 computers when the businesses in my area were still using floppies. So, yeah, and we did the usual Windows courses too in the beginning, but we migrated all to Mac because there was a big need in the area that I lived, and people would just drop off their computers and I would fix it up for them, and they set it up for them, and they will come and pick it up. So I've been playing with this for quite a while, but I would share that because I have people asking, it's getting too expensive to own a Mac. The price of internet, the price of streaming and so forth. There's ways to cut back. And even with internet, you get used to 1 terabyte speed or whatever, 2 terabyte speeds. 300 megabits is more than enough for most people. So save some money. Take care. Have a nice day. Appreciate thumbs up if it's something that you'd be willing to do. It will be appreciated and helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you haven't done so, it would be appreciated. Please subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.